Hello everyone, this is John from Compass Rose Bushcraft, and I'm getting ready for a final autumn overnight trip. I'm going to go to the Eastern Pine Trails backpacking trail in Algonquin Park, and I'm just going to give you a bit of a view of my gear loadout, and then I'll see you on the trail. So the first part of my gear loadout is always my bedroll, and I have the canvas bedroll I have reviewed, and underneath that is my sleeping pad and the inflating bag for that, and on top of that is the extra clothes that I judged I will need from the looks of the weather forecast, and I'll show you this once I have it rolled up and packed. So now I'll show you the gear I'm going to take in my backpack. And the first is my tomahawk, followed by my Esker folding buck saw, which I'll show you on the site. I hope to do a review of that sometime soon. I'll have had opportunity to use it enough on this trip, I'm hoping. The line I'm planning to take, first aid kit, my DD 9x9 tarp, which is in place of a tent. My water jug. Beside that, in the orange pack, is a knife, fork, spoon roll with a small spatula and a pair of tweezers for pulling things out of the frying pan. And then I have a utility belt, which is a flashlight and a small folding stuff sack for tinder and that kind of stuff. Behind that is in the green pack there is my fire kit, with a little something to drink around the campfire. Behind that, my poncho, in case I get a little bit of rain. There is a prediction of a little bit of rain on the trail tomorrow. We're getting into the autumn, and leather gloves to protect while making fire, and if it gets a little chilly, spare pair of socks. A little tool roll, in which is a little auger I have for doing some bushcraft stuff, and a few small things, the socket for my bow drill, my ground sheet, my camera, tripod, and my cooking equipment, which in the greenish pack is my wash-up stuff, some biodegradable soap and a sponge, and then my plate and bowl and cup. And behind that, in the green pack, is my billy pot, in which is my wood gas or burning stove, which I plan to use tomorrow, and under all of that is my pressed steel frying pan, which I'm going to use, I'm hoping, for my breakfast food. I'll also be taking my heavy blanket sweater and my felt sun hat, because again it's supposed to be a little chilly. But that's all of the gear I'm planning to take, aside from the food, which I'll tuck in on the back of the pack, and I will see you on the trail. Thanks for watching. So here it is with everything packed. The orange pack is the waterproof cover for the bedroll, and that will just go over my shoulders and sit on top of the other pack. The cooler behind it is not going, but the blue pack is, and everything fit in there, and there's just a little room left on top for my food. And so I'll see you on the trail. So here we are at the head of the trail. Gotta say that the drive in was spectacular, because the leaves are pretty close to their height of color, and I'm looking forward to the hike in and setting up on Stratton Lake. I have a site there, and looking forward to both the journey and the arrival. I'll talk to you soon. Arrived. That was a long and somewhat grueling walk. There's quite a steep uphill in the middle of the route to this section of hiking campsites on Stratton Lake. But I'm here. I'm going to pause and have some water and maybe a snack because I didn't have any lunch, and then I'll show you my site setup. So I'm going to set up my tarp sleeping arrangement, and I'll take you along for that. I have looked overhead for dead branches, widowmakers, all of that kind of stuff, and there's a nice flat spot here. The wind is coming onshore but at an angle, so I'm hoping that I can set the tarp up in such a way as to limit the amount of wind coming in while I'm sleeping. I may yet have to rearrange the tarp into a cloud point or something along that line, but I'm going to start with the Adirondack setup. I've prepared myself a toggle, and my ridge line is there, and my tent pegs, and here is my 9x9 tarp. So, oh, there we go. There's my Adirondack setup. I must confess I had some trouble with it because it's been 2 years since I set that up. I used it a lot for 2 years ago because I did a backpacking trip just using the tarp and set it up in different configurations. But when I went to set it up here, I thought I had the space right, and I got it set up, and there's a tree in the middle of where I needed the back of the tarp to be. But this is my Adirondack setup, and there is my ridge line that has 3 prusik knots on it so that I can tie it off with toggles and get the tarp up, generally speaking, fairly quickly. And I'm going to set the camera down, and I'll go get my bedroll out and roll all of that out and show you that whole procedure. So first of all, I like to put down my ground sheet just to protect the canvas a little bit. Very light waxed canvas ground sheet. And then my bedroll. And that's all there is to it. Bedroll is ready. I have to pump up the mattress, but beyond that, I'm ready. My clothes are unpacked, and I'm ready for the evening when it comes. And there are some really interesting collections of mushrooms on the sides of trees. Look at this tree here. Lots and lots of stuff around it, and more erupting out of the ground over there. But it looks to me to be several different types of mushrooms growing on that one tree. A few more up there as well. So this is the High Falls area. The falls drop down into that pool, which is over there, through this area here. And for anybody who has never been here, there is a lovely natural water slide at the falls. Unfortunately, I'm losing the sun, so I don't have the time to go down there and show it to you. At another time, perhaps. But I wanted to at least see it before it got dark. Got about a 3.5 kilometer walk back to my campsite. And as you can see, the light is getting low, so discretion in the better part of valor means I'm going to head back very shortly. See some of the fall colors that are in that tree there. However, this is largely a pine forest, so it's not as pretty as it was on the way in, where we had more of the maples and elms and the like. So I'm back at my site, and I'm loading my wood gas reburning stove. And I've put some larger pieces in there, as you can see, for them, and packed it with some twigs and some birch bark. And now I'm about to do a flint steel fire start on it, which is my normal thing on a campsite. And so I'll focus the camera down and let you see what I'm doing. And the first thing I've done is I always carry a little jute twine with me. And so I have taken the jute twine and shredded it into a small tinder bottle. And I always put a little bit of a silica gel desiccant in with my flint steel set so things won't get too damp. And I always carry a little bit of cotton or something along that line to supplement my tinder bottle, just so I've got a variety of things in it. It's just standard stuff that I carry with me. Just to add some variety to the bundle. I'll take that and roll that up. My flint, in this case, is volcanic rock from Cuba, and my steel. I've got a spark already, but I'm going to just add a little extra in there. There we are. Into the tinder bundle. Flame, and add it into my birch bark and all of that. Throw some smaller twigs in there just to get it rolling. It's been raining the last couple of days here, so some of this stuff is a little damper than I would like, but I think it'll do the trick. And I'm going to be cooking some rice on this in a few minutes. So we have a beautiful but very misty and extremely chilly morning. The fog is supposed to burn off, and it's supposed to be about 12 degrees today, and you can see where it's starting to work its way through the fog. But right now I'm guessing it's probably about 4 or 5 degrees at most. Very chilly. But I had a good night's sleep, notwithstanding, and the camp was fine, bedded down over the night. And my pack, my Adirondack shelter, and I'm about to start the coffee water. And start to make breakfast. To get my stove going this morning, I'm going to make a Canadian candle inside of it, because it burns nicely and quite efficiently that way. So I've cut off a piece of wood, and now I need to baton my way through it so that I have 4 even parts. Set the parts in the stove. Along with my tinder, and light it up. There we go. One strike. So you can really see that the mist has burned off, and the colors on the other side of the Stratton Lake, especially up where you can see some of the maples and elms and the like, are really, really quite spectacular. Zoom them in so you can see them. What a beautiful morning. I didn't have a lot of time to be out this time, just a 24-hour, but it was worth every minute. Beautiful opportunity to refresh and pause and see the transitions taking place in creation. In a few minutes I'm going to go pack up the site and head home, but wanted to thank you for joining me for this little trip, for the opportunity to see the autumn colors and to explore a little bit. It's the kind of thing that renews the soul. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.